Okay, so in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to work with basic line symbology. So we have several line layers here. I'm going to turn on Via, and we see the streets appear on the map, and they're again in this default symbol, which is just an orange simple line. So with points, when we look at a simple point layer, we have marker and simple marker as the default single symbol. When we're working with line layers and we have the default single symbol, we have line and simple line as the components of that basic symbol. So similarly, when we choose line, we can just alter the color, the opacity, or the width. And when we choose the simple line component, you can change the color, the width of the line, which is called the stroke width, the offset, which would move the line away from its actual place where the symbol is placed, the style of the line, whether it's solid or a dashed or dotted line, the join style. You can use custom dash patterns for lines. So here where we have different dash patterns, you can choose one of these and then customize it, defining how far the space is between dashes and how long the dashes are. There's some other settings for aligning those dash patterns to make them look better. So there's quite a bit you can do just with the basic symbology. So to start, perhaps I'll just make the roads a black line. So by clicking this drop down, not only do we get the color wheel, but we get this recent colors section. So these are colors that I've used recently. Then there's a standard colors section. And so this is another easy place to always find black and white and some of the standard colors around the color wheel. So I'll choose black to change the roads to black. I can also change the thickness of those to make them more bold. If this was going to be the topic of the map, I might choose to have them be that bold. I can also enter my own widths here. So there we have the roads appear on the map. Next, I'll turn on the tow route, and these will connect the train lines between stations. And you can see here, this has already been symbolized for us. This is the only layer that's really come in with a non-default symbol. And if we look at how this is constructed, it's composed of a simple line and then a second simple line. So the bottom simple line is black, and it's quite thick with a 0.66 millimeter stroke width, and it's a solid black line. Above that, there's a yellow simple line that's using the dot line pattern and a thinner stroke width. And it creates this symbol here where we have a black, yellow dotted line. This actually looks more like a highway symbol to me. So I'm going to show you how you can create a hashed marker line for railroads. But this is important to show you because we can use this technique of adding symbol layer types to create a more complex symbol. The way this was done is using this add and subtract buttons to add and subtract symbol layers from our symbol stack. So I can remove this yellow dashed line, and now I'm left with a symbol layer type of simple line for my train station, for my train routes. So if I was going to reproduce what was just there, the way that was done was by clicking this green add symbol layer button, and it adds another symbol layer to my line, and I would then make this yellow. So I can use the color wheel to make this a yellow line, and then I can make this a dot line and increase the stroke width to create that kind of similar yellow dashed pattern. And you can go in here and adjust the widths of these two layers to change that. But that is how you can start making more complex symbols for any geometry, really. This would also apply to points, where you can stack simple markers on top of one another with different symbols to create a more advanced symbol style. So here, instead of creating this yellow dashed symbol, I'm going to create a hashed line. So I'm going to remove this simple line, and instead of simple line, I'm going to choose a different symbol layer type. I'm going to choose hashed line. So this is how railroads are often represented, with a hashed line. And so the hashed line just creates these hashes, these little perpendicular lines along the train route. And you can use different intervals for these. So I can make those hashes closer together. There's other settings for these to put hashes on different parts of the line geometry, but I think I want to use a consistent interval between them for this symbol, so I just keep this with interval option. You can also control the hash length, so I can make it a shorter line. And there's several other parameters for this symbol that you can adjust, such as rotation and other things, but I'm going to leave this as is for now. And then I'm going to add another symbol layer type to this, the simple line, which then creates the straight line connecting these. So with a hashed line combined with a simple line, we end up with a symbol that is typically seen on maps for train lines, because it looks like a railroad track with the ties going along the rails. So that is a quick look at setting up line symbology in QGIS.